lost in the house.
Hello, everyone. This is Petra Johnson. I am talking to the great Lieutenant Colonel Ellen Willis.
Don't put that in there, please,
and
baby.
I want to...
You were talking to Ellen Willis.
Okay.
One of the first Negro women in the Women's Army Corps. The Army Corps was banished in 1974. The colors were retired and no more white corps exists.
Okay, well, Ellen Willis, can you tell me how you got into the Army? What were you doing in Korea?
Now you don't want to jump to that. Say Colonel Willis now. I would like you to tell me how you got interested in the Women's Army Corps.
Colonel Willis, can you tell me how you got interested in the Women's Army Corps?
In the Women's Army Corps?
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to get the GI Bill to go to graduate school, and I applied to the Women's Army Corps for a direct commission, and I was turned down. And I reapplied at the suggestion of my college advisor, who said, we don't know why you were turned down, and we're going to write to the President of the United States and ask them if they were going to do a good job of advising their graduates. This was at San Francisco State College now. If we were to do a good job of advising our graduate students, and Colonel Willis was a very fine graduate of ours, we were going to need more light on this subject. So tell her to reapply. And so that was before I was in the Army. But I was working with the Red Cross in what they call the Special Requisition branch of the Red Cross, SRAO. And I went to Korea, and I was assigned to the SRAO program of the American Red Cross. Then one day I was telling them about different things, and I told them how I was turned down, and just said I wasn't considered, for being they said I was unfavorably considered. And my advisor wanted to know why and asked me could I have a copy of that letter. And the College of San Francisco, the president of that college, wrote the Department of Defense and asked them if they were to do a good job of advising their graduates, because Colonel Willis at that time was an outstanding student and a graduate student, and we didn't know why she was not favorably considered.
Okay.
Please advise us. And they got a reply and told me to tell me to reapply.
Okay.
And that's how they re-evaluated me in Japan.
Okay.
I went to an evaluation group that they sent me before they accepted.
Okay.
In the Army. And after I went there and they saw me and then sent back a report, the next thing I got was tell her to reapply. And the next thing I knew, they had sent me an offer for direct commission in the Women's Army Corps.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm the first black woman that's been sworn into the Women's Army Corps from Korea. I think it's still the fact.
Okay, the first black woman sworn in Korea. That's excellent.
In the Army from Korea.
Okay.
South Korea.
South Korea.
Yeah.
What was it like in South Korea?
What you see, babies walking around with fat bellies and no clothes on, and walking way for miles up on hilltops. They didn't have transportation where I was located. I was north of Seoul.
Okay.
Now, south of Seoul was a very different kind of look for the country and the people. But it was nothing to see barbed wire fence with fish hanging on it, drying for the winter. They had beer caps where the cans had been cut and smashed, and they made tops and covers on their house for like tin roofs to
Okay.
take care of it was a cardboard outside house for most of the ones in the South Korea North,
Okay.
up to the DMZ, between South Korea and the DMZ North. That's where we worked in the Red Cross.
Okay.
And I just was invited to accept a commission at a point after they reevaluated me.
Okay. Okay. So, Colonel Willis, once you came back to the United States, where was your first base?
When I first came back, I came back for basic training.
Okay.
I didn't know a thing about the Army,
Okay.
except what I was seeing.
Okay.
But no, they take